The wind moved softly across the plains that day, carrying with it the weight of history and the hush of destiny. For 40 long years, Israel had wandered beneath burning suns and silent stars. They had known hunger, fear, rebellion, and mercy. A generation had fallen in the wilderness, but the promise had not died. Now they stood at the edge of the unknown, facing the rushing waters of the Jordan. Moses was gone. Before them stood Joshua, a servant turned leader, a man shaped not by ambition, but by obedience. Joshua had seen the power of God before. He had walked through the Red Sea as a youth. He had stood in the shadow of Sinai. Yet this moment was different. This was not memory. This was fulfillment. The Jordan River overflowed its banks, fierce and untamed, as if guarding the promise beyond it. The people waited in silence. Fear whispered through the camp. Then Joshua spoke, not with doubt, but with calm authority. The priests stepped forward, carrying the Ark of the Covenant. As their feet touched the water, the impossible happened. The river halted, standing like a wall. Dry ground appeared where none should exist. Israel crossed, step by step, fear giving way to faith. Beyond the river rose stone walls that mocked human strength. Jericho stood tall, sealed tight, confident in its defenses. But God's strategy was not warfare as men understood it. No rams, no ladders, only obedience. For days they marched in silence, footsteps echoing against ancient stone. Tension grew. Doubt pressed in. Then came the command. A single shout tore through the air. The earth trembled. The walls cracked, then collapsed, falling not by force, but by faith. Victory arrived without pride, proving that strength belongs to God alone. Battle followed battle, valley after valley, hill after hill. Some victories were swift, others costly. Yet through every trial, Joshua remained steady. He did not lead Israel to glorify conquest, but to honor covenant. At last, the land was divided. Tribes found rest. Tents became homes. The promised land was no longer a distant dream. It was soil beneath their feet, a testimony written in rivers, stones, and memory. Joshua stood before the people in his final days, voice firm despite his years. He reminded them that the land was a gift, not a reward earned by strength. "Choose this day whom you will serve," he declared. Faith had brought them this far. Only faith would keep them there. This story was not just about acquiring land, it was a testimony that when man moves forward with faith, God makes the way. The journey that began in chains ended in inheritance, not because Israel was strong, but because God was faithful.